So, I was actually at Egypt, unfortunately, before the revolution. I can tell you that those countries suck. Countries of such a impoverished background will be more religious, and because of this, they actually do have a serious issue with Islam. In America, you don't see people praying 5 times a day. They don't even do that in other Western nations. But you go to Egypt, and you see this primitive mindset that people have. This country is literally overrun by savages. And this lifestyle they live is just behind. They haven't progressed for generations. You could literally send them back thousands of years and they'd fit right in. Well, maybe not even that far ago, because people actually started inventing things back then. People were progressing. Not like these days where people don't have the incentive to work. But back to the main point, Egypt is a shithole. And a lot of these Arab Muslim countries are just uncomparable to any Western country. You can't compare Egypt to Greece, you can't compare Egypt to Israel, or even Italy. You really can't compare the Arab Muslim countries to free societies. These Arab states are, in many cases, run by corrupt leaders, and because of Obama, radical Muslims. So we're about to see some really stupid shit going on in these countries. So I'm not surprised that there is an Arab Spring because of this issue with Islam, an issue with any religion, really. I mean, if there was a Latin Spring, you'd see a lot of extremists coming out of that, but these poorer countries have most of them. It's not their own fault that they're poor. It's the lifestyle that they live that doesn't really include much innovation. They don't have this mentality that a more progressed person would have. They don't have this idea that there is... they don't have opportunity, and some of them don't even want it, so they don't desire the types of liberty that we have, which is social and economic freedom, which is what every Western country has. So if you do go to Egypt, you're not going to like it. Too much sand, too much shit, tons and tons of homeless people, tons and tons of having to hear those Islamic wailing shit, or whatever you call that big thing where they put on that prayer over the speaker, this conformist mentality, basically. They don't know how to be themselves. And even in Europe, there's people who have this conformist mentality where they really can't think for themselves. And we've all become sheep. And these Arab Muslim countries have a serious issue with acting like complete shit. I mean, sheep. Acting like complete sheep and going around acting like, this religion of Islam is actually true and that somehow bad things are going to happen, even though it obviously isn't. There's no evidence to prove that any of that would actually happen. So this idea that nothing in Sharia law should ever be practiced. Unfortunately, there's Sharia court in Britain, but that's because of the immigrants going there from these countries. And if I was president, I'd stop giving money to Egypt, and maybe even Libya, and Syria, and Bahrain, and Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. And maybe I'd stop giving it to Tunisia too. So these Arab states, the states themselves aren't the worst states ever. There's states even worse. But these people who have this conformist mentality are the ones that are causing an issue. If they wanted to be more like Americans, they should start acting like it. If they wanted to be more like Europeans, they should act like it. But they don't have this understanding of real liberty. They don't have the free economy or even the basic social freedoms that we have in Western nations. And, maybe they don't even deserve it. I don't know. Where I see it now, they're better off with with what they had before the Arab Spring, because it's just going to get worse for them. They're going to elect new leaders. That's how Morsi got into power, and that's how the Muslim Brotherhood is going to end up convincing more people that they're right. And then you got Hamas in Gaza, and then you got the Taliban with Al-Qaeda. So there's no hope for these people. So stop hoping that it will change. And stop hoping that your vision of the Arab Spring is going to make society progress, because I don't think it will. And I've seen no evidence that these states have become better with those disrespectful revolutions. And in the case of Iran, stop sympathizing for Iran. Don't sympathize for countries that have no freedom. Don't sympathize for their government. Sympathize for the people who don't know any better because they've been brainwashed by the government. And sympathize for those that try to at least get out of it, like the ones who actually hate their own government. The ones that hate Iran, the Persians that hate Iran, tend to end up being good people. And real Persians don't like what Iran is today. Iran was actually a very Western nation. Reza Shah banned the burqa. Reza Shah was a very key ally to the West. And Iran was pretty much a Western country up until that revolution. And if it wasn't for that bullshit revolution, they wouldn't be where they are today, which is in the shits. And this Islamic, primitive, savage, theocratic mindset is exactly what these people are going to end up getting into. And more countries are going to end up looking like Iran if they continue the same path. And the far-left groups that pander to these Islamic, theocratic, fundamentalist, fascists shouldn't even call themselves the Antifa. Because the Antifa is nothing more than masking yourself with a socialist ideology, then creating fascism. But then again, why should I care? Because these are all ideologies that oppose liberty. And anybody that opposes liberty doesn't deserve to be an American. Or to even be a Westerner. And I wish Sweden and Norway would look up to real Western countries and not fund these terrorists. And not fund these idiots. These savages. These morons. I mean, I wouldn't want the government giving me all their money either. Why should people pay for me? Why should they pay for anybody? Why should they pay for anybody that they don't even like? If people don't like me, why should I be able to get welfare? Think of it from this point. Maybe you don't like me. But maybe I shouldn't have that money either. So this useless spending that we're doing there, giving money to these countries, it's really stupid. Like, anybody who wants to give money to these freedom-hating savages really needs to fuck off and die.